during the transition out of the military, did you ever silo your look of what you wanted to do as a job when you got out into Salesforce only, into the ecosystem? Or did you keep those other opportunities open? That's kind of all I got.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think no, that's good. That's great. I had no idea what I want to do, right? So Vetterati again, I kind of thought I knew what I wanted to do, and then through kind of the Vetterati process of 8 or 9 or 10 calls, I kind of honed in probably over a month period or so, or maybe 2 months of Salesforce. Kind of looked into it, and like I said, my timing was really lucky. Meravus stacked right now, end to end against higher heroes. But yeah, absolutely. Once I figured out Salesforce, and that's really what sold it for me was, I read Mark Benioff's book, is it Trailblazers? Which one's the one when he talks about the culture and values? Yeah, so I read that book, right? It's like, okay, yeah, this guy's hyping up his company, cool. You got a lot of money, you're great. But then I started meeting like the Davids, the Elios, the Wade Moles, and all this super strong veteran community within Salesforce, and the values that Mark talks about in the book, they were kind of saying the same thing, but they're on their own way, how they internalized it. And I was like, oh wow, this is what I want to do. And so once I figured all that, I found out, cut out all the stuff that I didn't want to do, or I realized I didn't want to do, and I kind of got started on Salesforce, and then I kind of validated what I was thinking of it through all these targeted meetings with Salesforce employees through Vetterati and LinkedIn. I was all in. I was all in. It's like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm going in. That's when, again, my timing super lucky, and I was able to just, attack it, with all my vigor.
It's a great question. And, from my opinion, in my opinion, I think there has to be a point where you're all in. If you always have your kind of toes in other areas, and you're casually kind of checking it out, you're never going to be fully invested. You're never going to take the opportunity to do the full amount of learning, to put your whole self forward. And that's very obvious to see to recruiters, to other folks in the ecosystem. And ultimately, I think you'll fail. But I do want to hear what Geralyn and Annie think about that as well.
For me, I didn't hyper-focus on Salesforce. But when my husband was looking to get out, I did hyper-focus, and it's my biggest failure ever. I wanted to be a financial advisor. Boy, was I friggin' wrong. Went to school, got degrees, took 4.5 years, used up the whole GI Bill, got 2 degrees with 3 majors and a minor, got kids through elementary and middle school, had a husband in Afghanistan. At the same time, we had to evacuate because of a fire, and got into it and went, oh, no way, right? But like David said, you have to be all in or not, okay? And when you say Salesforce, that literally means anything, right? I'm in the Salesforce ecosystem, but I'm not doing anything with Salesforce itself. I'm not being an administrator. I'm not doing that kind of thing. I'm pulling information out of Salesforce and other systems and going, you got a hole here. You got Swiss cheese. What can we do to fill these holes in? So you've got to, like David said, you got to be all in and figure out what it is you really want to do. Because if you really want to just mop floors, you don't need Salesforce.
Yeah, great point.
Yeah, and I think just personality-wise, I'm someone that, like, once I get an idea in my head, I'm like, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm all in, right? So for me, I think it's kind of important that you feel that passion behind it, and that you really jump in and, like, just say, I'm gonna give it my all. Because like David said, I think you can kind of tell when somebody's just kind of half in, half out. So yeah, I would agree with both Tim and Annie that, if you're gonna do it, like, just do it the best that you can and be all in.
Yeah.
You'll find out real quick if you don't like it too.
And
go ahead first, figure it out if you like it or don't.
Yep, and everyone has brought up Vetterati. That's where you figure out if you do or don't like it. You have those informational interviews, but I get it, Tyler. Right? It's like it's all about limiting risk. What happens if I jump all in and I hate it? Well, that's a concern, right? So you have the informational interviews. You do a ton of research up front without committing yourself. Once you figure out, okay, no kidding, this is what I want. There's people in the community that are going to support me. I have the resources that I need. I love doing the work. Then you're all in. And with the Salesforce ecosystem, it's so vast. There's so many different roles that there's never a worry that one, you won't have a job because it's 4.2 million jobs, something like that, in the next 4 or 5 years. And two, if you get bored with one job, move to something else. If you're bored being an admin, move to a consultant. Bored being a consultant, move to be a solution engineer. There's tons of opportunity.